Now the first thing you're going to notice about Photoshop CS6 is its dark interface. Now it was a bit of a culture shock for me, but now I'm used to it, I have to say I do like it. I think it allows me to focus on the image independently of the interface. But if you want to change things back to the way they were, you can. Now I'll show you two ways. You can go to the preferences. So we're going to go up to edit, we go down to preferences, and we're going to go to interface. And up here in the appearance tab, here's where you can change the different colour schemes. But that's a lot of mousing around, so I'm going to cancel out of that. And what I'm going to show you is a top secret hidden keyboard shortcut. Now you can press the Shift key, hold down the Shift key and press the F2 key. And what that's going to do is take you through 4 stages of lightness or darkness. You've got 2 one way. Now on the Mac, depending on your system preferences, you may need to press the Shift key along with the Function key and then the F2 key. Now if I want to darken it, I'm going to press the Shift and the F1 key. And I've now got 4 different stages of darkness. So Shift F2 to lighten, Shift F1 to darken. And I'll just put it back to where it was. As well as this, we've also got the option for changing the pasteboard colour around the image if it's visible. Well, let's go and open an image. Okay, we haven't got that font on here, so I'll just substitute it. That's fine. Right, so if you zoomed out enough, you'll see that there's a dark area that goes around the side of the image. This is the pasteboard. Now we can change this colour now. And if we right click in there, we'll see that we've got some choices. We can have black, dark grey, medium grey, light grey, or a custom one. Let's try black. Well, that's not bad. Not my preference. We can try a light grey, which is taking us back to the likes of CS5, or we can try something in the middle. We can try a medium grey, or we can try a dark grey. You can also pick a custom colour. So if I click on custom, you can see it'll bring up this blue, which I don't think I'm that keen on that really. So I'm going to go back, see if we can select a different one. If you want a different colour, let's go for a vivid red. Oh no, I don't like that. Right, so I'm going to go back to my dark grey. A couple of other interface items to be aware of. Notice down here at the bottom of the screen, they've moved Mini Bridge. It's now here. And if you go ahead and click on its tab, it'll open Mini Bridge up for you. Now you can see by its default setup, it's set up in like a film strip mode. Now you can change the size of the thumbnails by just hovering over this join and clicking and dragging and making Mini Bridge bigger, or you can click and drag to make Mini Bridge smaller, and obviously you'll be looking at smaller thumbnails. Now if you want to hide Mini Bridge, you have to take a look at your images, then you just double click on the tab and it minimises it down at the bottom again, give you more room to look at your images. Right, here's another new feature that I think is great. We have now this HUD feedback for just about every cursor. Now if you're not familiar with HUD, it stands for Heads Up Display, and it's about the information Photoshop uses to communicate with us. For example, if I switch to the Move tool and come back and I'm going to drag this text, so when I click and drag, you'll see now that there's a little icon appears with some coordinates in, and these are the X and Y values. Now that's the distance I've moved this object, which can be very useful. So if I leave it here, I've moved it horizontally 36 pixels and vertically 15 pixels. Now this can be incredibly useful when you use Free Transform. So I'm going to go up to the Edit menu and I'm going to go to Free Transform. Or you can use the keyboard shortcut, Control and T. Now you notice if I scale the image, so I'm going to go to this corner and click and drag it, as well as seeing the width and the height percentages up in the toolbar, I've also got the width and height displayed in pixels at the cursor position. Now this also works if I come outside the crop boundary and I click and drag, you'll see I've got a little heads up display of the angle that I'm rotating. I think this is so cool. Okay, one more thing. If I hold down the Control and the Alt key and I move over a corner point, what I'm going to try and do is skew. And if I click and drag, you can see that I'm actually skewing. And there we've got the skew angle. So now I'm skewing by minus 3.5 degrees. I'm going to press enter to accept that modification. I'm just going to move that back into the middle a little bit. Right, so we've got the new dark interface, which I like a lot, and a great enhancement to the heads-up display, offering real-time display information here inside Photoshop CS6.